I'm gonna regret this instantly, aren't I? Everything can and should go pretty fast and smooth. You just need to avoid the few weeks or days it may take you to get to that plan, or pick it up from someone who already did it. So you want to get started with physical AI and with NVIDIA and the Jetson system. You probably splurge on a really nice board and you want to get started with some amazing physical AI projects. There's a lot of awesome projects that you can do out there with computer vision. Perhaps a Disney Star Wars droid that you can teach how to walk with NVIDIA Isaac Sim policies. That's coming next. But first thing first, we have to actually install everything we need and get our stack ready to work. And that may sound like a very simple step before you get to the fun part, but if you do it wrong, it can actually cost you a few weeks of debugging hell. Thankfully for you, I've already spent those weeks in hell, and I'm here to tell you everything you can skip and how to set this up in 30 minutes flat. The NVIDIA boards run on something called JetPack, which is a combination of the OS and all the ways that you can install the packages and the dependencies you need on it. It is still based on Ubuntu, and each version is tied to a version of Ubuntu as well. You can think of the stack you need to install as a very long row of dominoes. Each of them has to be compatible with the one before, and if something messes up, the whole line goes down. In this case, at the very beginning of our dominoes, we have the operating system, so Ubuntu 22 or 24. We then have the Jetpack that's compatible to it, used to be 5 and 6, and now recently we have 7.2. For Jetpack 6, this is the setup that worked for me, and I'll link it in the description. However, like I hinted at, we now have Jetpack 7.2. This is great because it means we can now use Ubuntu 24, we can use the latest ROS, and everything else should be a lot smoother and working out of the box, right? Well, kind of. The issue with it being so new and fresh is that, well, not all of it is documented properly yet. So it still takes a bit of experimentation to get the right stuff going. So after I just got my Jetpack 6 set up to work, I'm going to delete it and start all over just to make sure I can get a stable version to recommend to you. And not gonna lie, I regretted it as soon as I did it. I spent the last few days trying to get everything to run smoothly. First of all, the installation of the correct image or ISO. If you have a vanilla NVIDIA board like the developer kit, you can download this directly from the NVIDIA website. And really nice improvement with this, rather than having to connect a USB cable and installing it from your computer, which also needs to be on the same Ubuntu version, which when that was 22 was a little bit painful. But now you can just use a simple tiny little USB. You can put the ISO on it with an imager, and then when you plug it into your board, it just installs by itself, putting all the heavy lifting directly on the edge device rather than your computer. This is already a great improvement. However, you have to get the right image for the particular board you have. In my case, we're building this whole tutorial series on the reComputer from Seed Studio. This is based on the same NVIDIA board, but it has this bigger carrier with a lot of other peripherals and advancements, and it requires its very own image as well. Luckily for us, they also just released the supported image with Jetpack 7.2. Literally 8 hours ago, I've been stalking their GitHub waiting for it to come out. So similarly, you can get the correct image and put it over on your board. And they also have this developer tool where you can select the particular board you have and directly install it and monitor all the packages that go on it. So you download your image, you put it on your board, and then you get it running. Getting applications is also easier than it used to be with Jetpack 6. We just have this app store that we can search for stuff in. So of course, I'm going to start with PyCharm. You need an IDE to write all your code in, and this is the IDE of choice for the Back to Engineering channel. Thank you, PyCharm and JetBrains, for sponsoring me and being such a great partner. You can see more info in the link below. So once we install this, this is where all our code is going to live and where we're going to run things from. It's also what we're going to use to set up our virtual environment, where we're going to try to get all these versions to be compatible. And what I've used a lot in this process is also their AI chat, which basically links to an LLM that can help you to figure out what's going on, especially when you get a lot of error messages with particular dependencies. It's the new way of going to Stack Overflow and pasting all your error messages. So what we want to set up is CUDA to leverage the GPU architecture, similarly TensorRT and PyTorch, which will allow us to work with tensors and multidimensional data later. We're going to set up ROS, Isaac Sim and Isaac Lab and compatibility between those, as well as Python, of course, and different packages for it, such as OpenCV, which will help us with different camera manipulations. This series is also in collaboration with Seed Studio based on this GitHub that they put together with all the code for all these episodes. So going in order through all these folders, for example, we start with CUDA. If CUDA is working properly, you should be able to run this test to show how much faster GPU time is than just using CPU, in this case 4 seconds versus half a second. And quick thing while we're on the topic of CUDA, just because it's installed doesn't mean it's been added to the path. So make sure you do that if you're not able to find it and you keep seeing error messages, even though you think you got the right version. We then want to install TensorRT and PyTorch. Specifically for PyTorch, you want to find the right wheel. Now, usually these are pretty easy to find. They're documented for the right version of JetPack or OS that you're on. However, again, because this is such a recent release, it's actually not even showing up in NVIDIA's compatibility matrix, and I wasn't able to find it through the regular commands. In the end, I reached out to the seed engineers and they gave me the link to this wheel, which is technically in pre-release, so it won't show up unless you specifically know to go looking for it. So I did a little bit of mining off camera, and this is the virtual environment that we end up with. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of these packages, obviously. So we end up with CUDA 1.3.2 and PyTorch 2.12. And finally, we have Python 3.12, which would make it pretty easy to install NumPy, Matplotlib, your kernel for your Jupyter notebooks, and so on and so forth. Once we got all the AI and ML stack installed in that virtual environment, we're going to want to move on to the robotics stack. Now, you may think it would be great to have it all together, but again, we run into a bit of issues because ROS depends on a particular type of Python, which also comes with its own NumPy. So those would also contradict each other. So instead of putting ROS in the same virtual environment, we're going to install it on our global environment and just run it with a new terminal. So I've installed ROS Jazzy, and of course, the simplest way to test this out is our cute little turtle. So we have it here, and then let's do a new terminal. Look, it moves. Still as fun as the very first time I did it. Well, ROS doesn't stay this fun for long, but we got it going. Good job. That was very quick and smooth, just a few minutes. And this just highlights that if you have the right versions that are compatible and the right ones to install on the system that you're working with, everything can and should go pretty fast and smooth. You just need to avoid the few weeks or days it may take you to get to that plan, or pick it up from someone who already did it. And then the final test to make sure that our entire stack is ready to go, I'm going to grab my SO101 arms and let's see if we can also cleanly install LeRobot. I think this is a great proof of concept to show that the NVIDIA board can run robots, which is the fun stuff that we actually want to do. I've done another video of installing the SO101 arms, so we basically just plug them in, run the software, and we want to at least get them to teleoperate. In a future video, we'll go through training your own policy with Isaac Lab with it. However, this is another point where it's very easy to make a mistake. You have to tell it not to install the dependencies and let you work with the PyTorch and Tensor version that you already painstakingly picked to work. Otherwise, LeRobot will override all your good work to work with the version that it's familiar with. It doesn't actually play nicely with the rest of the stack that you spent so long getting organized, so make sure not to trip your domino row once again. And there we have it! Shout out to NVIDIA for releasing 7.2 support for the Jetson boards. They also released some other cool stuff like agentic workflows, which I cannot wait to take a look at. Shout out to Seed Studio for the board, for the amazing tutorials they've built, which I've linked below. And shout out to PyCharm for being my channel sponsor. And of course, shout out to you guys for watching these videos and following along with this series. I really hope it's helpful and you're setting up your own environment and we can get to building some really cool stuff together. So much more to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Welcome back to engineering, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!